Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. The World Trade Organization is an agency that promotes international commerce. In fact, it is the only global international organization that deals with the rules of trade between nations. Of late, the WTO has been busy settling trade disputes as the volume of dispute is increasing every passing day. With growing protectionism among countries, member countries of WTO are increasingly imposing new trade restrictions, including tariff increases and imposition of taxes and export duties. According to the WTO's latest monitoring report, between mid-October 2017 to mid-May 2018, the G20 countries introduced 39 new trade restrictions affecting trade in iron and steel, plastics and vehicles. This number almost doubles that during the previous year. The United States has imposed tariffs on a number of countries, inviting retaliation, leading to a trade war-like situation. If news reports are to be believed, the United Nations might pull out of the WTO soon. So are countries losing their faith in WTO? Is its existence in crisis? Let's find out in today's In Depth. With growing protectionism by the United States, many countries are facing the possibility of a trade war. Many countries, including the US, are looking to make the trade balance in their favor and are ready to bend the international norms of business. The trade wars are threatening the existence of international trade regulator, the WTO. Let's take a look at what the future holds for the World Trade Organization.
There is concern being raised globally about the future of the World Trade Organization that works to ease global trade while ensuring fair play. US President Donald Trump's opinion on the organization is a major reason behind the concern. He has expressed his opinion on several occasions without mincing words. Recently, he said that the US has been treated very badly by the WTO. Though he ruled out exiting the multilateral forum, he warned that US will not hesitate in acting if the situation does not change.
WTO's treated the United States very badly, and I hope they change their ways. They have been treating us very badly for many, many years, and that's why we were at a big disadvantage with the WTO. And we're not planning anything now, but if they don't treat us properly, we will be doing something.
At the G7 meet in Quebec in Canada in June, Donald Trump pitched the America First policy. This is also defining his trade policies for the US. Trump said at the summit that some nations are treating the US like a piggy bank and looting it.
It's not a question of, I hope it changes. It's going to change 100%. And tariffs are going to come way down because people cannot continue to do that. We're like the piggy bank that everybody's robbing, and that ends.
Trump argues that because of the WTO rules, China, Canada, Mexico and the EU benefit more in the trade with the US. Recently, the US decided to increase import tariffs on several goods from these nations. In retaliation, these nations increased import tax on many goods coming from the US. This triggered a trade war and with it protectionism. The WTO termed the trend non-conducive for global trade and warned against it. Even the International Monetary Fund advised the US to steer clear of such a scenario.
The rising trade tensions that we see before us, they risk a major economic impact, undermining the strongest sustainable period of trade growth since the financial crisis. But more than that, also the systemic effects could be very damaging, risking long-term impact on the global economy.
Our recommendation, therefore, is to encourage the United States to work constructively with its trading partners to resolve trade and investment disagreements without resorting to the imposition of tariffs and non-tariff barriers, with a view to actually restoring fair and mutually beneficial trade based on level playing field.
So far this year, the US has decided to increase import tariffs on goods from countries like China, Mexico, Canada, Brazil, Argentina, Japan, South Korea, Germany and the EU. Some goods from India have also been hit by this increase in import duty. Retaliatory tariff has also been imposed by these countries on the US. When the US hiked import duty on Indian steel and aluminium, India responded with decision to hike duty on 29 American items from August 4. The trade war between the US and China has taken a serious turn. Donald Trump threatened additional 10% import tariffs on Chinese goods worth $200 billion. Trump had earlier announced new 25% tariffs on Chinese goods worth $50 billion. China retaliated with tit-for-tat measures, pitting the two major economies in the world in a spiraling trade war. In this scenario, questions began to be raised on the WTO's ineffectiveness and dispute resolution.
The future of WTO is very much under threat. It is very much difficult to say what direction WTO would go in if DSP is not able to work, if members are not coming to them to settle their disputes, if they take up global trading system in their own hands. The challenges are immense.
The US protectionist policy could impact India's agriculture, industry and services sectors. Developing countries are likely to be negatively impacted by this global trade war. India believes that WTO will have to play a major role in the times to come. India has said that while the existence of the WTO is in jeopardy, it is important to ensure balance of rules in global trade. It has also asserted that in the absence of the global multilateral forum, countries will have to face complex situations.
If you don't have WTO, it will be a chaos. How will you deal with the rules? If somebody flouts it, how will you work on it? And therefore WTO is a must, and therefore our first strategy in India is to ensure that we are trying to keep WTO alive. Not only alive, we are trying to make it stronger.
There is another issue on which the WTO has not been able to exercise much influence. Developed nations like the US, Britain and Australia are making their visa norms stricter. This could create hurdles for qualified workforce from developing countries like India. Britain decided to exclude India from the list of countries offered easier student visa norms. The US is also tightening many of its visa policies. As per the WTO rules, there is free flow of goods and capital, hence there must also be a free flow of talent. The WTO has not been able to assert its position over the issue. Since its inception, it has been a challenge for the organization to secure the economic benefits of both developing and poor nations. With the present trade war among developed nations, the WTO is finding itself in the middle of criticism. However, most nations and experts believe that it is the WTO that can provide an amicable solution to the existing problems. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
India has been a member of the World Trade Organization since its inception. For long, it has been emphasizing that complete elimination of food and agriculture subsidies is not possible. For this, India has cited its food needs and poverty alleviation programs. However, India has expressed its displeasure over the discriminatory policies of the WTO.
India became a member of General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, or GATT, in 1948 and a member of the World Trade Organization on 1st January 1995. India has been consistently engaging with the World Trade Organization, making constructive proposals. On January 15, 2001, India sought a food security box to mitigate various aspects related to livelihood in agriculture in the WTO agreement. It also wanted that works like poverty alleviation, rural development, rural employment, diversification of agriculture should be kept exempt from demands to reduce subsidies spent on them.
India has always been committed to multilateralism. India has been talking about strengthening global multilateral systems. If WTO is not allowed to function the way as we are seeing now, it would be extremely difficult. But India's commitment with multilateral system stands, and it should be further strengthened.
After this, till 2008, both developed and developing countries remained firm on their demands and there was no solution. Earlier in 2004, the revised draft of the proposal was given to member countries in the WTO meeting. It was proposed to make the provisions for import subsidy more stringent. After this, in December 2013, at the World Trade Organization meeting in Bali, India made it clear that the upper limit of 10% on subsidies was not enforceable. For this, India cited programs related to its food security and poverty alleviation. India has also been demanding revision of the formula for assessing the limit of food subsidy. India says its foundation is the 1986 and 88 international price, which is now impractical. There was a unanimous agreement on 10 points in Bali. One of these 10 points was also associated with agricultural subsidies. It had a direct impact on government's procurement of cereals, national food security law and agricultural business. India did not agree on this point. Finally, an interim settlement was done to prevent the talks from failure. It was then decided that the matter would be sorted out by negotiating it separately in the next 4 years. An interim point named Peace Clause was also added. It was decided that till there was no permanent solution, the developing countries would continue to give more than 10% subsidy and no country would challenge it. In November 2014, WTO accepted India's demand for removing the ban on the government cereals reserves. India said that government stock of cereals is essential to provide food to a large population in the country. At the WTO meeting in Nairobi in December 2015, the final decision on the agreement was to be taken to limit the subsidy for the food security and agricultural conservation. But some developing countries, including India, were not in favor of the proposal to reduce subsidy.
India has been the original signatory and founding member of the erstwhile General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, which is GATT, and we are the founding members of WTO, which came into being on 1st January 1995. So India has always believed in multilateral system.
The developed countries want India to stop procuring cereals from farmers and also remove the concept of ration shops. India opposes it. In December 2017, the WTO meeting was held in Buenos Aires. India had reiterated its old opinion and said its aim was to protect its interests and priorities. India said the Bali Agreement in 2015 protects its interests. In March 2018, India organized a ministerial meeting of 50 member countries of the WTO in New Delhi. The agenda of this meeting was quite extensive, in which issues like agriculture, services, investment, business simplicity, e-commerce, institutional issues, development and gender were involved. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Time for a very short break on the program. We'll be right back.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back. You're watching In Depth on the future of WTO. The World Trade Organization has organized 11 ministerial conferences till now. The first conference was held in Singapore in 1996. Over the years, there's been consensus on several issues among member countries. But there are also many unresolved issues still present in the WTO. Let's take a look at all the ministerial meetings of the WTO so far. The topmost decision-making body of the WTO is the Ministerial Conference. It usually meets every 2 years, bringing together all members of the WTO. The WTO Ministerial Conference can take decisions on all matters under any of the multilateral trade agreements. The first Ministerial Conference was held in 1996 in Singapore. The primary purpose was to initiate an international effort among global trading nations to overhaul the structure and mechanisms of the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, while preserving the considerable progress achieved by that system since its inception in 1948. At the Singapore conference, disagreements emerged between developed and developing economies, largely over 4 issues: transparency in government procurement, trade facilitation, trade and investment, and trade and competition.
The fact that during 2015 Nairobi WTO Ministerial, the fact that in 2017 in the 2016 in the Buenos Aires WTO Ministerial, the institution could not respond to the challenges. In fact, as we were discussing, the issues related to weakening of dispute settlement panel DSP is again a case in point. It is important that we have sustenance of it.
The second ministerial conference was held in Geneva in Switzerland. The third conference in Seattle, United States ended in failure. It was marked by protests over issues of human rights and preservation of ecology. Developing countries, including India, opposed the inclusion of labor standards in the list. No consensus could be reached on issues like market access, agreements about the trade of agricultural services, etc. The fourth conference was held in Doha. The Doha Development Round was launched at this conference. The Doha Round was to be an ambitious effort to make globalization more inclusive and help the world's poor, particularly by slashing barriers and subsidies in farming. At this conference, China became the 143rd member to join the WTO Ministerial. In Doha, India made significant gains on public health concerns. The agreement allowing countries access to low-price patented drugs in case of a public health emergency was a victory for India. The fifth Ministerial Conference of WTO was held at the Mexican beach resort of Cancun in 2003. However, the conference became complex in view of the serious differences in the ambition levels of WTO members on 2 most contentious issues, agriculture and Singapore issues.
Doha Development Agenda has a special meaning for the developing countries, but it appears that on a variety of issues, the gap between the perceptions of developed and developing countries has been rising. Important issues that would perhaps be very helpful for development, especially in the developing countries and least developed countries, is not coming by. And that is why WTO has been in news, especially in December, when in Buenos Aires, ministerial conference was held. There was no outcome.
The 6th Ministerial Conference of WTO was held at Hong Kong in 2005. It agreed to eliminate export subsidies in agriculture by 2013, with a substantial part in the first half of the implementations period. It also gave duty-free, quota-free market access for all LDC products to all developed countries. The 7th and the 8th WTO Ministerial Conferences were held in Geneva, Switzerland in 2009 and 2011 respectively. The 9th Ministerial was held in Bali, Indonesia in 2013. 159 members of the World Trade Organization agreed to the Bali package that sought to ease barriers to international trade. The WTO's 10th Ministerial Conference was held in Nairobi, Kenya in 2015. It culminated in the adoption of the Nairobi Package, a series of 6 ministerial decisions on agriculture, cotton and issues related to least developed countries. In December 2017, the WTO's 11th Ministerial Conference was held in Buenos Aires, Argentina. It ended with a number of ministerial decisions, including on fisheries subsidies and e-commerce duties, as well as a commitment to continue negotiations in all areas. However, with the US going back on its commitment to find a permanent solution to the public food stock holding issue, this conference collapsed. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. The WTO presently has 164 members. In 2016, Liberia became its 163rd and Afghanistan became the 164th member. Let's take a look at what led to the formation of the World Trade Organization and what are the objectives of the organization.
The World Trade Organization, or WTO, regulates international trade. Its objectives are to help producers of goods and services, exporters and importers conduct their business. It is also intended to ensure the participation of developing and least developed countries in global business. India is one of the founding members of the WTO. WTO was established on January 1, 1995. It replaced the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, or GATT, that was established in 1948 after the Second World War. GATT was formed to facilitate trade with all countries. 23 countries, including India, became the initial members of GATT. From 1948 to 1986, as disputes with countries were resolved, trade flourished, but the US and other developed countries witnessed more growth in comparison with the poor and developing countries. China also never recognized the GATT agreement, but became a member of the WTO in 2001. With the formation of WTO, GATT was dissolved in 1995. WTO was formed after 8 rounds of tough negotiations, with the final round lasting from 1986 to 1994. GATT agreement did not address the internal trade issues of the countries, but at the insistence of the United States, issues related to internal sovereignty were included in WTO agreements. Arthur Dunkel, the Director General of GATT, took an active part in the Uruguay round negotiations and prepared a new agreement in 1991. The agreement hugely favored the US and European countries, which was opposed by many countries, including India. After several amendments in the proposed draft, the deal was signed by ministers of 123 participating governments at a meeting in Marrakesh, Morocco on 15 April 1994.
WTO is in dock largely because of the chaotic approaches that we are seeing from several of its leaders, particularly the 45th President of the United States, who is trying to bring in US perception up on international front, challenging the tariff structure, challenging the way things are to be governed. They are challenging through currencies. So a number of issues are there.
At present, 164 countries are members of the WTO and takes into account 95% of the world's trade. Signatures of all member nations are essential to introduce or amend the WTO's policies. WTO oversees the implementation, administration and operation of trade agreements and provides a forum for negotiations and for settling disputes. It also reviews national trade policies, makes business policy for developing countries and oversees cooperation with international organizations. The highest decision-making body of the WTO meets every 2 years. It is headquartered in Geneva and carries more than 100 technical cooperation campaigns annually for the developing countries. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's it from us in this edition of In Depth. We'll be back same time tomorrow with a focus on another subject. You can also watch our episodes online on YouTube and Twitter and share your feedback. Thanks for your time.